Welcome to the eLearning Unlocked podcast. Today we're going to talk about the rise of the no-code course creation tools. So this is something really exciting. How can we basically get past the idea of coding? And I would even go further. I think we can talk about course creation, but even, LMSs as well. I think no code is just the way that we're going. It doesn't mean that there's no developers involved. It just means behind the scene, but we'll get into that. So the good news is that you can start creating courses, and even I would go as far as saying LMS pages and platforms without involving a developer. Julia, do you want to give a small introduction about everything that's possible?
Yeah, of course. I'll be happy to do that because actually I know some authoring tools that are really nice in terms of different widgets that you can use. And this is, I guess, the core word of this podcast, which is widget actually. Because if you use different widgets, then you can really build a very nice course, a very nice page, if it's an LMS, right? But then you have such a variety of different widgets that you can choose between, and also they have different settings, and also you can utilize them in a very different way. So for example, if we have an audio widget, and I'm just jumping into details, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
For example, if we have audio widget, then you can use it in a way as a podcast sort of throughout the whole course, but at the same time you can use it as standalone audio just to fill in, some more information during the course. So there's really it's really limitless in terms of
I think that's the exciting part. I mean, obviously we're from the Learning Lab. We're really passionate about no-code learning. I know there's also other tools on the market. It's not just Learning Lab LMS. There's different authoring tools that can provide the same service. But I definitely think, even though we love, our SCORM team and our SCORM developers, it is amazing when we can really have the clients, create quizzes and interactions and podcasts with not a developer involved, not even a SCORM developer, really just, plug and play.
Yeah, they have some idea and they just execute it.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially because we know the turnaround time it can be so quick. You have really quick fashion cycles. Sometimes you want to launch a new project. You just really want to make that easy in terms of also go to market. And giving our clients the freedom, let's say, to do that, I think is really key. So for me, it's, I think, a very exciting development. In terms of the features, I think one of the things that you can look out for where you're looking for like an authoring tool that allows your team to create no-code courses is really just, like Julia said, I think it's the magic word, it's the widgets, right?
Yeah.
You can have any types of widgets, right? Multiple choice widgets, drag and drop widgets. I mean, flip cards.
Yeah.
There's so many, but it's about that widget, right? That you can just basically means I can come in. I don't know any coding. I don't know any SCORM development. I come in. I just say, these are my questions.
Exactly. You have like a gallery of, different widgets to choose from.
Yeah.
And then you think of your idea and choose one of the widgets, test it out, change it to other widgets. You use the drag and drop kind of feature. And this is how you build it.
No, absolutely. So I think that's really exciting just because I think sometimes people worry about the length it takes to create a course. But with that, really, you have a very quick turnaround in terms of publishing quizzes and lessons and interactive journeys. Also in terms of, I would say, just getting it then translated and produced. I mean, there's definitely a difference in terms of timeline here. And I think that's what's really cool about the no code is that even a very small team, let's say just you're a one-person team, that can happen, right? You might be 1 or 2 people team within a brand or a company. And that allows you to have the power of a whole team behind you because you can create the quiz, you can create the game, and you don't need someone to then, let's say, scorify it or encode it or use HTML5 or whatever you might use, right? So I think that's the ease of it. Yeah, autonomy.
Yeah, exactly. I can totally agree. And also with the autonomy comes the templates and the sort of automations you can use with the team or with yourself when you work on it on your own. Then you can utilize different templates that are pre-saved.
Yes.
Either the original ones or
templates are the best for you. Exactly. Templates are the magic word when it comes to e-learning.
Widgets and templates.
And it's important because it doesn't mean that it becomes boring or predictable. It really just means that you have those layouts pre-saved. with your brand colors and your layouts, and you can add new pictures, you can reshuffle the order, you can ask different questions, give new information. So I don't think it needs to become boring, but templates really help you publish very quickly.
Yeah, and I think that's why the no-code authoring tools are a game changer in a way when you create the content, because then you don't struggle necessarily with coding and with trying to figure out how it will be reflected in, let's say, the visual way. You already see that, with different previews options, etc. You can already bring the content to life.
No, absolutely. I really agree. I think we'll devote like a separate session to like the LMS no code. Today we just kind of alluded to it. That's like a whole topic of its own. That will have its own episode. But I think what we can really, I guess, conclude is when you're in an e-learning team, when you're an instructional designer, or you're working in a team, or you're creating content, definitely look at all the amazing tools out there that are allowing you to, author without you having to encode the HTTP5 or such, or, even SCORM, because even SCORM, I think, is very rigid. You have to, let's say, reopen the package. You don't just go into your authoring tool and easily change it. So I think look at things that make your life easy, especially if you're a smaller team. But even bigger teams, they often have like bigger requirements on them as well. So I think it keeps making sense for literally any scale of team.
Yeah, exactly. And I would also add to it that don't limit yourself. Basically, you don't necessarily need to focus on the tools that are available but seem a bit like too complex in a way. Really investigate, search for the tools that you can use, and test the widgets and templates that we promoted.
Yeah, exactly. See how easy it is to publish a podcast, how easy it is to publish a quiz, and you'll have your answer. It will make your day-to-day life a lot easier and a lot more productive, I'm sure. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. We hope it was useful. We'll jump into different topics and the next ones, and please come back and listen again.
Yeah. See you.